Hey everyone, it's Britt here on the Daily Craze, and I'm shooting on the floor again because I really liked doing it last week, so I might just keep doing this. This week I have another camp story for you, but this one happened my first summer as a counselor. When I was a camper, actually all the way up until I think the year before I was a counselor, there were two separate camps that ran the entire summer. Because camps are, I guess, less popular with kids now, it's changed so that the camp that I went to growing up, they have one set of counselors that goes there for 2 weeks, and then they move to the more popular camp for the entire month of July. Well, when I signed up to be a counselor, I was not accounting for that to happen, and I didn't really want to do it at all. I'd never been to the other camp, but in my head, did this just go backwards? I don't care. I was so, annoyed about the fact that I had to be at this camp that I did not want to be at. And so the first week of camp was it wasn't really a week, it was a half week. It was a mini camp, which is a synonym for evil at the camp that I worked at. And I was put with two new counselors. I was technically a new counselor, but I'd been a counselor in training for so many years that I didn't really count. We had a super racist girl that week. We had a girl who wet the bed that week multiple times. It was just bad. But we also had some pretty great times. And so this week I'm going to share with you the story of the time that I battled a raccoon. Basically, we got back from some activity. I can't remember what now, but we arrived back at our unit, which is way out in the middle of nowhere. And I looked around, and our trash was just everywhere. All of our leftover scrap food from lunch and wrappers and stuff just all over the ground. Looking at it, we knew what happened because the trash can was knocked down. It had to have been a raccoon, just because that's the most logical thing that would have happened. But we didn't know how recently it had been there, so we kind of didn't bring it to the girl's attention. And we just said, "Hey, go hang out in your tent, have tent time." La da 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 da. I tried to go as fast as I can, picking up all the trash and putting it in the trash can. But what I wasn't expecting was for the raccoon to still be there. So I started hearing a scratching noise, and I turned around to our cupboard and looked up, and lo and behold, there was a raccoon sitting up there. But I like to say that I won that battle. Obviously, I'm super ferocious. I'm like the Beast from Maggie and the Ferocious Beast. And then actually, literally maybe a half hour later, all of the counselors were in the tent, and one of the counselors hadn't closed her water bottle all the way, so it was making this squeaky noise, but she thought it sounded like a mouse, so she was freaking out, because there's mice in the tents. She was freaking out about, oh, there's a mouse over here, there's a mouse over here, there's a mouse over here. And so I decided I would go check it out to see if I could get it out, because I'm fearless. And I got over there, and it was her water bottle, so I started laughing, and she didn't believe me at first, but I brought it over to her, and the sound followed the water bottle, because obviously that's what it was. And she closed her water bottle, and we never let her live that down either. So moral of the story is counselors never let anyone live anything down. And I'm a beast. Fearless. What? Okay. That's all I have for this week. I'll see you guys next week on the Daily Craze. Bye.